Hey, good evening, good evening. This is Brothers on the Block. I want to thank you all for being here. We have Brother Jason with us, Brother Jermaine, Brother AJ, who normally is here, could not make it tonight. Just some previous engagements and commitments he needs to fulfill, but he's watching. So we know that he's with us in spirit, definitely, and with us, maybe even via a couple of comments here and there. But we appreciate him as always. And I am Pastor Mark. I want to thank you. This is Brothers on the Block. This is a weekly, just brothers kicking in, talking about sports, talking about, pop culture and so forth. And we're going to talk about some things tonight. We're going to talk about the NBA playoffs. We're going to talk about, hey, what is your favorite gospel singer of all time? I don't know if somebody's going to throw some Mahalia Jackson there or something, but we'll see. And then we're going to talk about Chadwick Boseman. Our dear king, Black Panther, Thurgood Marshall, Jackie Robinson, James Brown, just to name a few. We're going to talk about that towards the end of the show. So please, we want you to comment. We want you to laugh with us. Hopefully we ain't going to hit no tears, but we want you to, experience Brothers on the Block. Please like, share, and subscribe. And we're going to kick this show off really strong, talking about this NBA playoffs.
Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
Man. Those stars are looking good. That's not the NBA, but those stars are looking good. When homeboy messed up his knee, I was saying that's a lot on Luka. He did it one night.
Yeah.
And Smart went trying to play with him. Like, if I just keep irritating this dude,
right.
Right. That was a lot to overcome. To overcome.
Yeah, and I think it was you that said in a previous episode that they needed to get rid of the head coach of the Mavs, and I think it's time. I think it's time.
You came from receipts
walking papers just like we did Jason Garrett. So.
Boy, Jermaine come out firing this week.
I'm inspired. Said the job, like you got to put the hell. The one thing, and I'm gonna throw it to Jason, but the one thing I know about Mark Cuban, I don't see him fire a lot of people. So I think many times to his detriment. We can talk about a lot of things in that, but he didn't get rid of Donnie Nelson, which maybe in the end that might be a good thing. I have a fear he's not going to get rid of Carlisle because Carlisle brought a championship, but that was 9 years ago now.
Right.
And I don't know if he's going to put that together and say, okay, let's get fresh blood, because everybody else who seems to get put out the playoffs, them coaches like, yeah, so as you're exiting, you just exit. You got to come back. So, Jason, what you think, man?
I mean, Carlisle's been there for a minute, right? I don't know how many years, but he's been there for a minute, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They kind of had stuff stacked up against them. I mean, because once KP got hurt, because it was looking good, and when we're starting out, I mean, with that tandem, I'm like, okay, the boys is gonna do something. And I'm gonna have to hear Mark's mouth, you know what I'm saying, for the rest of the season. These boys are going to show out. And then, unfortunately, Porzingis, like I said, who was I think it was his first playoff game, Luka's first first series too.
Yeah.
So, like you kind of want to root for the underdogs, but from a coaching standpoint, I don't think Carlisle was horrid at it. I mean, the guys got injured, but from a personnel standpoint, definitely they could have selected way better because they could have had a chance. It wasn't like they giving Luka $100 million right now. Like they had room to maneuver, but they didn't. So new coach. I mean, unless the new coach is going to also usher in a whole new way of doing business. If that's the case, and I'm for it, just to see some change. Because how many times the Mavs go now get to this point? Like post Dirk leaving, they kind of get going and they get close enough. And I mean, this time, hey, we in the playoffs, or excuse me, y'all in the playoffs. I can't say we. I want to get struck, but and then and then they fizz out, from unfortunate circumstances. So I mean, why not take this time to strengthen the foundation of the team?
Well, and with KP, for Luka and KP, they really haven't played together. Like they don't have a 30-game stretch where they played together. One of the things that going back to Michael Jordan and Pippen, I think about how many games they played together. I think about Kobe and Shaq. Like they have played a lot of games together. Even when you think about the Clippers, I think the one thing that we talked about that, brother, last time. Pandemic P came up. He's like, he got really real. Like, I got to go to counseling. I'm going through, and then he kind of turned it around. It was a mental block somewhere, and he turned that around. And the sad thing is, Paul George and Leonard may have more games together than Luka and KP, and plus they're higher quality. And KP often gets injured. And this may be, I don't know. I mean, that's just for the Mavericks. And then Trailblazers, they have terrible playoff luck. Yes. Yeah. I mean, every playoff you think about, there's a major star who gets hurt. It's not like, oh, that's the dude, the 12th man. No, it's like one of your top 3 players is going to get injured.
Yeah, we talking like, even if this was a regular season, we talking after. Like they had a stellar season last year, like running through people, and they run right to the playoffs. And I don't know who show up, but definitely wasn't the team that was killing that division.
Right.
But I mean, if it was going to be a year, it was going to be this year with that addition of Whiteside. I mean, and then the two young guys. I mean, they got a bench. Yeah. Like they got room to rotate and still stay with you, and not give back the lead or had the lead, the score run up on them. Like they have that, but yeah, it just never, it hasn't played out like it has. But next year, right?
I mean, and next year is going to look so different than the years that we've seen. I hope they start. I would like them to do an exhibition game on Christmas. Play against the world. Do your little tournament, or whatever you want to do. Start on MLK Day, January, and let that thing stretch into the summer like you kind of did here. Why compete against football? Let them have that. Your guys need some rest because these guys are getting hurt. Start on MLK Day. We all off. That could be a nice little, you want to do social justice or whatever you want to do with that. But it could be a nice little kickoff to the NBA. That's just my little 2 cents. Then have your All-Star game sometime in April. So you pass March Madness and all that stuff, and I think it could be a nice little setup for everything happening. But the NBA, I really enjoyed the playoffs. It just, it's LA, on the West to me, it's really about LA on the West. And then on the East, that's going to be a nice little fight. Them 4 teams, I think. But I could be mistaken. What y'all think?
What 4 teams are you talking about?
So on the East Coast, we got Boston, Toronto,
Milwaukee.
Yeah, sorry. When you get that hit that 40, something happens. We like now Toronto, Boston, Milwaukee, and come on, y'all.
Rockets, Thunder.
On the East.
Oh, on the East. Clippers, what we got? Bucks, Heat.
And my brain. Heat. Thank you, Heat.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Jimmy Butler is not going to come out and not go hard. That's going to be a nice series on all regards. But at the same time, I'm thinking, hey, it's about LA. Wherever team you want to talk about. And if Paul George really starts stepping up, that LA team, the Clippers I'm talking about, is a deep squad.
Mm-hmm.
LA Lakers has a nice team with top probably 5 players. 2 of them, maybe.
No bench.
But the rest of that though, I mean, they have to do so much. LeBron and AD, and it has to be every night. They cannot, especially AD. AD got to be that dude.
Mm-hmm.
But the Clippers, Kawhi can come in and step back a little bit. I mean, they got pieces. And Doc ain't no joke. Doc Rivers is not a joke. And they got little gangster to them too. They'll hit you, talk about your mama, all that good stuff. I mean, the Clippers, I think, gonna be nice. What y'all think?
First of all, the Heat versus Bucks game is going on right now.
Okay, I was trying to. What's the score? I was trying to get that score.
60-63, Milwaukee leading.
That's a nice series.
And just to touch on something we said in previous convo about the Bucks, your two leading scorers right now are Middleton with 21 and Brook Lopez with 19.
Brook Lopez?
Yeah, Brook Lopez getting off. Giannis got 9. He's got 9, 4, and 4. I mean, like no one else is above 9 points after that. It's Middleton and Lopez. But, for the Heat, it's pretty much the whole starting lineup is kind of sharing the load. Bam is 7 rebounds, 6 points, 2 assists, but then Butler's got 13, 2 and 2. Dragic, 19, 2 and 2. Then everybody else is in that 6-5 range with rebounds and stuff. So they shutting down. Like they look like they trying to shut down Giannis.
Yeah, and we've seen Giannis shut. I'm sorry, Jermaine.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, it's it's really easy to kind of shut Giannis down. If you can stop him from going straight to the hoop, he really doesn't have like a mid-range shot or anything like that. So I mean, if you can stop him right there in that paint, I mean, you got him. You got his game. But I think that the series that I really want to see the most is Boston and Toronto. Like Boston handed the reigning champions, their tail yesterday. And so I think it's going to be a good back and forth. And I really hope that Boston wins that series.
I think, the outcome of this whole playoffs, if the Clippers should win the championship, you got to put Kawhi and go talk, right? Or get into that because he's not flash, he doesn't talk. You forget he won in San Antonio. He was the MVP of that finals. Then Toronto, he put him on his back. He got that MVP finals. Now if he does it again, wow. I mean, you got 3 teams, 3 NBA, that could happen, right? But let's scratch that. Let's say that doesn't happen. If Toronto wins the championship, that is a lot by the general manager and the players. I still make moves to make things happen. Mm-hmm. But they don't. Boston. Tatum coming out party with his bubble right now. He's been nice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's been so nice. And in Milwaukee, I feel like when Milwaukee got so much. I mean, we're not even talking about what happened at the end of last week. Milwaukee just got so much in headspace. I wonder, is this going to be their time to take it to the next level or not? I don't know.
Right. I mean, I think that, what I'm saying, like for the last, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 years, they could have, I think they've been poised, to take it there and just have, just basically come up short, And so I think with Toronto, even though they lost Kawhi, I mean, they still have some really good players. And so I think for them, they got a taste of that life that we won a championship, let's do it again.
Right.
And so they're doing, whatever it is, except for, yesterday's game 1, but they're doing, basically doing whatever it is that they, need to do, whether it's defense, going straight to the hoop, to win those games. And so I really think that, they're out for blood.
Yeah, I just think it's going to be a nice all the way around. I wish it was on ABC and NBC. I think they'll get better ratings. People, there's just so much going on that people, I don't know, they know what's happening because these are some really good games, and so I just would want people to tune in to that. So do y'all have an early favorite? I know we lost Portland, lost the Mavericks, and whoever Jermaine is hating on this week. No, Jermaine was going for the Lakers. He said the Lakers.
Yeah,
he said the Lakers. So the Lakers are still there for him.
Yeah. At this point, I mean, the Lakers is going to see Rockets or OKC, whoever come out of that, looking like the Rockets is going to pull. So I think the Lakers may have trouble containing the speed of Houston.
Speed.
But Denver, Utah, they tied up. They going to Game 7. So I mean, they're gonna be tired. I think coming in.
They've been battling
against the Clippers,
right.
but I like Denver more being the upset team to upset the Clippers. I want to see Houston and LA. I want to see Denver versus the Clippers. But it's set up to be LA versus the Clippers, to get to the conference finals. So, but at this point, Boston all the way.
So, okay. I'm gonna pull for Houston. I'm gonna pull for Houston
to do what?
That's a line right there. To do what? To beat the Lakers. Because to beat the Lakers. Now I don't want them to, right? I want LeBron to win. I want LeBron to win. Because I feel like he's getting so much flack at times. All right, this brother, he didn't came up from nothing.
Yeah.
And to be where he's at today, I mean, if he just said, I don't do basketball anymore, I quit, I retire, man, salute you. Because of what you done in the community, starting your own school, businesses and all that stuff. But I feel like James, I like that Thunder might go down tonight. I feel like that GM messed up. You had 3 MVPs and it was a few $1 million you were fretting over.
Right.
You had the team. Your team was going to the finals, bro. You messed that up that bad.
Yeah.
So now to see James Harden and Russell, I got love for Russell. To see them two together. I like to see that all the way to the chip. It may not happen.
It's not.
I know. I know. I know. It's gonna be entertaining though. Harden gonna hit his 3 now.
Yeah, I mean Harden is gonna get his, his 50 a game.
And Houston has a better bench than the Lakers. Well, I guess a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, Houston's team is. I mean, Houston has a nice squad. I mean, the key is if they can get out going fast enough, and then once AD and Bron sit down, they bench still gonna run with it. I mean, we can't expect KCP to put up points every night. So it's just who's gonna step up. But I guess Rondo will be back, so that's gonna add a little spark to that second unit for the Lakers. But yeah, I'm definitely interested to see those two teams go, because if it's OKC, I think they just gonna play bully ball. I mean, Steven Adams ain't no slouch in the paint, but they just gonna bully that team everywhere else. They gonna frustrate Chris Paul and get him on up out of there.
Chris Paul should do a lawsuit against David Stern, rest his soul, because Chris Paul was supposed to be with the Lakers, and David Stern said, "No, we ain't gonna do that." He was supposed to be with Kobe. His whole thing would have been different. Because I'm saying, damn, Chris Paul, to bring the Oklahoma this far, we thought they were gonna be straight scrubs, right?
Right.
I mean, that just shows Chris Paul's leadership. I mean, I'm just saying, it was David Stern who blocked the trade. He was getting traded to the Lakers with Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
And David Stern said, "No, we ain't gonna do that. We're not gonna do that." And then it didn't happen. And for whatever reason, David Stern gave some kind of reasons. It's not in the best interest of basketball and something like that mess. But and it was a fleecing. That's what the Lakers do. They fleece folks. They always get great players. That's their history. Go all the way back to Wilt Chamberlain. Their history just taking players for nothing and building dynasties. But I would love seeing Chris Paul play with Kobe. That would have been nice. But it is what it is. And one note before we move on to next, we had a great loss this morning. John Thompson, Georgetown coach, Hall of Famer, This is the coach of Patrick Ewing, Alonzo, Allen Iverson. I mean, we lost a giant at the age, I believe, 78. Lost a giant. I thought Georgetown, as somebody said, I thought Georgetown was the HBCU when I was growing up. I saw brothers. I saw Johnson. I'm like, okay, this is like Hillman, you know, because of how. And I remember people wearing Georgetown hats. His impact was great on the sport. Now, Allen Iverson said, "You saved my life," and I truly believe that. So I just want to make sure, you know, we give expressions of condolences to his family and also gratitude for John Thompson and what he meant. Y'all got any thoughts on John Thompson before we go to the next topic?
I mean, I know, like, growing up, like, I mean, I've always been a Duke fan, but like I would always kind of like, you know, watch the Georgetown games. And I mean, like, John Thompson was that guy, you know. And it's just like, you know, just his demeanor, you know, on the sidelines. It's like, dang, like, I mean, like, if I could play basketball, like, I would want to play for him, you know. And so I definitely think it's a great loss.
I definitely agree with that. You mentioned AI, man, that passion, that relationship they had. That's right around the time, you know, when you're young, growing up, you tuned into basketball, and you know, you seeing that, like you could see the passion he had for his players. Definitely a great loss.
So with that being said, we move on to a topic, and I want y'all to understand this show in part is trying to tell brothers, like, man, it's cool, it's all right to go to church. It's not a bad thing. Like, it can be fun, you know, all good things. So the next topic is, what's your favorite gospel singer? And you don't hear a lot of, and I want to say gospel singer, it can also be gospel rap if you want to put that in. But I don't want, you know, you don't hear a lot of brothers talk about that now. And I meant to get our brother Yao in here, but he's been quite busy with school, and I didn't want to bother him. We just so happy all the things he's pursuing and all the things he's getting done for the kiddos and for his own self. But I'm putting it on the table. What's your favorite? I'm hoping people are going to, you know, chat in with us. What is your favorite gospel singer? And I'm going to throw mine out there, just get on out the way. It's Kirk Franklin all day, every day. You talk about Kirk Franklin, you could get these hands. Don't talk about Kirk. Kirk, my boy, all day, all out.
Brothers and sisters.
I'll stomp him on him. Don't okay, Kirk. Don't talk about Kirk.
I agree. Kirk Franklin for me is my favorite, like, all-time gospel artist. He has made since I was young, he has made gospel music fun and interesting for me. You know, it wasn't about, you know, singing, you know, and don't get me wrong, you know, like, hymns are great, you know, but hymns are not for me. So he just made, you know, gospel music, you know, really, really fun for me. And it's just like, he's the type of artist that can take any, like, popular, like, rap song and make it into a gospel song, like, in a New York Minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it can be made into a gospel song, Kirk can do it. You know, I remember I saw last night he did a small tribute to Chadwick Boseman, and it was, you know, one of the popular songs off of the Black Panther soundtrack. I was just like, wow. So yeah, for me, definitely Kirk is Kirk Franklin.
What about you, Jason?
Old school would be Yolanda Adams, and then midway would be Kurt, and then new would be Ty Tribbett.
Okay. Now I feel a little old. And we call it Yolanda old school.
She older than Kurt.
I thought you gonna bring out, like, are you gonna Mahalia Jackson?
No.
Rest the Lord.
James Cleveland.
James Cleveland. God is. Are you going there? You going old school for real? James Cleveland.
Right.
Hold on, Andre Crouch.
Wow. And then Daryl Coley.
But he said old school, which for us, really, Yolanda Adams is a little, I mean, she's old. She's our old school. for us.
Yeah.
So we didn't grow up all James Cleveland unless you went to church. You heard James Cleveland all the time.
Right.
I know once a month we're gonna hear God is. We're gonna run around the church on some God is. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, Yolanda, yes, Yolanda, yes.
Yeah. But I think if we talk about like new school, I would say for me like either Tasha Cobbs or Travis Green.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a big Lecrae fan.
Yeah.
I'm a big Lecrae fan. I could put his music in the car, and my kids gonna jam out to it. And especially when they were going to school in person, my wife wore out one CD. My kids knew all the lyrics. So I'm like, it's too conscious. I mean, why didn't he talk about don't have the bail money? It was talking about the bail money, and you messed up the package. I'm like, They don't even know my new. They in line for line. I'm like, oh no.
I mean, we talking about gospel rap. I mean, you can't speak gospel rap without mentioning True Vessel.
Yeah.
That's called. They've been in the lab lately. True Vessel. There's a Now, wish we're gonna figure out how to insert the stuff in. She's got one Cold Summer challenge. She killed it. We put it out on one of our worship services. Y'all check that out. That Cold Vessel. That True Vessel did Cold Summer, and it was clean. I heard a lot of other folks. I think she was better than Fabulous. So let me put that plug out there. Better than Fabulous. Better than Fabo. But yeah. So new school. So yeah, I like Tasha Cobb. Now Kira Shear, like don't sleep on her. Kira, she is. I mean, she can go.
Yeah,
she got that. But Tasha, Tasha is that. Hawthorne. I know my son. Won't he do? He'll sing. Won't he do all day? He put her on. So it's a lot of. I think gospel's in good hands, and I'm just glad, once again, just come back to Kirk. I also feel like he just didn't sing a music. He lived life in front of us.
Right.
He kept it real. Like, I got struggles. It's not all perfect.
Right.
And with a lot of us guys, and marriages have endured at times. And he did it very publicly on Oprah. And all the other stuff. Being abandoned by your mama. Having another lady rage and things like that.
Right.
The insecurities with that. That's not uncommon in our culture.
Right.
And he brought so much to him. I grew up in an old school church where I remember they were talking about melodies from heaven. And what kind of melody coming from heaven?
That's a song right there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, and you young, so you like, but I like Kirk Franklin. So am I supposed to sneak Kirk Franklin? And someone was had to sneak Kirk Franklin. That sounds crazy today, right?
Yeah.
We had to sneak Kirk Franklin. Yeah, we had to sneak.
Right.
Old school where you singing 100s, God me that great Jehovah. That's all you do all day.
Yeah.
But you lose a generation.
You do.
And Kirk went for the generation who's been lost, and I feel like Lecrae, all True Vessel, all those folks are doing that. So
right, because I think one of the great things about Kirk is that he can kind of, especially like when he performs, like he can kind of push that envelope, and he goes right to that edge, but doesn't go over. So he keeps it, just enough, gospel, but also enough real to where he can, reach the the churchy folks. But he can then also reach, those that may be lost. And
one more time for Kirk. He's from Fort Worth.
Right.
And got to see him, Kelly and I, when we first got married, got to see him in person at Bass Hall. We got good seats.
But see, you got to be down front to see Kirk, man. He's 4'11".
He's right. He's short fella. We talking about short. My daughter Eden probably taller. Maybe Jane now taller than this dude. He's short.
You gotta get them Jermaine seats, man. If you want to see Kirk.
Right. Right. Please y'all go on Jermaine's Facebook and you'll see what we talking about before pre-COVID. Jermaine was a constant going. He's like, where you been, Jermaine?
Right.
You know. But got to talk to him. And you're thinking like, okay, we ain't gonna be like talk. He'll be like, hey, how you doing? And we had conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I haven't met a lot of gospel artists and all this stuff, but we got to have conversation. I got to express, and he told I'm like, man, this is a really good dude.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like just a really good dude that really loves the Lord, wants to minister. And I see some of the comments. Yes, Mary, kills it. I mean, if you get past that reality show, I mean, that was too much for me, but that's okay. But I love Mary got me through college.
Yeah.
He brought me too far. He
Yeah.
won't leave me. So
Right.
I appreciated him on that. But, I mean, they throwing up. Now, and this is what Kelly would check me. She said, you don't know any other gospel stuff. Because I was talking about well, Fred Hammond. She's like, you don't know never know Fred Hammond. So when they did the verses, I'm like, oh, Fred got hits. Yes. He been having hits. He had hits before Kurt. I'm like, oh, okay. I ain't know. And like I'm telling you, I grew up in that James Cleveland stuff.
Right.
Fred was real new.
Yeah.
So, they said be careful on that 411. He'll dance you out. So we get to this subject, and it's gonna kind of take us. Yeah, Talent Man. You cannot sleep on Talent Man. Please, if I don't make it to the, please somebody get Talent Man to my funeral, Lord. I'm gonna run around the hit, run around church. But this weekend we lost really an icon, and I don't, sometimes we don't know that they're icon, but you really do. We lost Chadwick Boseman to stage 4 colon cancer. Many children, the culture, all kind of folks are taken back. This is a man that was Jackie Robinson. He was Thurgood Marshall. He was James Brown, and other movies besides. I want y'all to understand he got a catalog, but the Black Panther is with. I'm sure people like you Black Panther, but he played iconic men and represented, especially for men, but especially for brothers, the dignity that we all want to be seen in. And I just want your initial thoughts on Chadwick. Died at 43. He's all in our age bracket, so it kind of hit me. I just turned 40, and I know we're all in the same age bracket. This is our age. So, what's your thoughts, man?
Well, I mean, it's definitely sad. I mean, when the news broke, was it Saturday when it broke? Yeah. Standing in the kitchen, we had some people over, and phone buzz. Look down. I do a double take. I'm like, wait a minute, now this can't be right.
Right.
Went out to Google immediately. I couldn't even finish typing his first name before it populates for you.
Right.
Like, ooh, okay. Click on it, and I mean, we had about 7-8 people total with everybody in the house standing around, and like with as much noise was going on, it was an immediate silence. Like, what? Let me see that. And just as you could see everybody processing it, and it was like, yeah, he was 43. And like, that was kind of like the haymaker, like, wow.
Right.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, especially somebody close to your age. I mean, all the success he had, doesn't mean anything when it's your time. But the accomplishments, the legacy, family man, I mean, it's sad. I mean, 2020 alone has been it's been a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Then the next day, then we lose Glenn Robinson, 53.
Right.
So
and then today John Thompson.
So yeah, we lose two basketball folks. you know, along with Chadwick, and it's just it's 2020 has been unlike any other year. Full of but yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, I had a matter of fact, you were over here for I think it was New Year's Day we had a couple years ago, a year ago. So I had a friend.
I don't get invited that much anymore to the ranch.
Yeah, that's a whole nother discussion there.
I'm joking.
I had a friend that had stopped who was there. His name was Charles, a young guy. It was at that and he since had moved to moved out of state, but he was in town visiting this past weekend, and he was telling me how he had to take a seat, man, like and process that. He was just like, man, like that's somebody that you know he looks at he's in his mid-20s, so that's you know like that's a person he has you know up here. Like I'm trying to strive to be you know a great leader, a great individual. Someone had said, when it's your time to go, what great things did you what great things did you do and what have you accomplished? And if you aren't able to fill in those blanks with something meaningful, then you haven't done enough. That's what was said. And it's like, yeah, well, you know what? Well, let me sit down and think about, you know, what I've been doing here through life and what great things have I accomplished and what have I done? Is it going to be remembered like this, or is it going to be just a guy that, you know, bowls and, you know, has more jobs than a Jamaican? But it's just like, what is it going to be? So yeah, that reflection started, you know, for everybody, and we had a long talk this weekend just about life in general, the next steps, phases. Like I want to do more. You sent out the text about starting up what was it like for the kids?
Yeah,
you know, so it's like you could see how it was just kicking off, you know, just all around me. It was just like that was the topic, whether it was directly about him or just man, like you just never know. Life is short. Like those conversations were happening. Or have been happening since Saturday.
Right.
Jermaine?
Yeah. You know, everything that, you know, Jason said is just like, it was just a real hard gut check, you know, when you look at it and everything that he meant, like all the roles that he played. But I think for me, more specifically, you know, Black Panther, like, you know, when we first heard that Black Panther was coming out, like, I know me and my friends were like, okay, we got to get seats, you know? And so it was just, I mean, that was, he was our Black superhero, you know, he was our superhero, not just in that movie, but just in life in general, to say, you know, we finally have someone, you know, that represents us, you know, and so for him to, you know, to be gone, you know, so soon, but, you know, for him to like suffer in silence like that, I'm just like, wow, you know, for like 4 years, like nobody really knew until like maybe towards the end. I remember seeing like a picture of him, you know, and I was like, well, maybe he's getting ready for another role, you know? And so, you know, a lot of people said that or whatever. Then, you know, a lot of people had like, you know, a lot of, you know, crazy stuff to say or whatever. But it's just like, wow, you know, it's just unfortunate that, you know, someone of his caliber of talent, and, you know, his attitude towards life, you know, is just, you know, gone, you know, so soon. And so it really makes you think about, you know, like, you know, Jason said, you know, and what you said, like, you know, what are you gonna, you know, once you leave this world, you know, what are people gonna remember you for, you know? And so you really just have to think about that, you know, but also on the health side, you know what I'm saying, go and get those checkups, you know, and make sure that you're doing that and following the doctor's orders.
Right. So that's why I wanna piggyback on that. My uncle, when I was young, I must have been 6 or 7. My uncle Sam died of colon cancer. So when Kelly and I first got married, maybe a year or so in, I guess about a year in, my mom, who's our, you know, she's a registered nurse and all that, she's like, you need to get your colon check. You 30 something. I'm like, okay, mom. Like, and I'm not gonna tell you that colon check is not easy. I'm talking about getting prepped for it. That was a hard deal. But I'm thinking my uncle had 2 children and he died so young and their life was forever changed. You know, I mean, they were young. And I'm not gonna get all into how forever their life changed, but it did change. And he died of colon cancer. The statistic says that 53% of the cases of colon cancer are African American men. They're seeing more cases in young folks these days. It's going up 2% each year. So it's being real progressive. And I'm sure it's much of what we eat, things of that nature. But also for African American men, we get checked later. So versus our brethren here, they got primary doctor. They're going to see the doctor again, check. Now that you supposed to do by 45, it might be different for African American men, but they seeing somebody. I would implore us all to get checked. But first of all, make sure you got a primary doctor and a good one. If they don't want to see you, they don't want to see your stuff, get another doctor. You know, they need to check you out. Check me for my health. You know, and get somebody who can relate to you. They don't have to be black. They got to be able to relate to you and be able to check you. Okay. And then the second thing, we got to get checked for all our stuff because we got to live.
Right.
We got stuff to do. So, you know, for this brother, he had this cancer for 4 years. That is Black Panther. That means he had cancer while he was doing Black Panther. He could have said, "I'm good. I need to deal with this." He did movie after movie during this time period, and with excellence. And did not just the movies. He did the press. He did this. You didn't know, because he still was very active in doing his work. He never said, "Please feel sorry for me." And he visited. He would go to the cancer treatment hospital like St. Jude, talk with children. This is a stand-up dude. I think it also speaks to his circle because no one knew outside of that what was going on, right? And I would challenge us as I talk about the doctor, what's your circle looking like? Because he didn't make those movies and do those press junkets and all that stuff by himself and visit those hospitals by himself. That's a circle. Now, and I seen on Facebook talking about your secret. No. He did 4 years of excellence. His highest his highest grossing movie is Black Panther is during this time period. And then he also did Avengers Endgame. He did all this stuff with having stage 4 cancer. Your circle not only keeps your secret, it should uplift you. How's your circle looking? You know, if your circle ain't that tight, if you know your circle gonna be on Facebook, put people out get a new circle. And it's all right. Because somebody uplifted this dude throughout these 4 years. He went through surgeries, chemo, all that. And I just want to say to you brothers on this platform we have here, I appreciate y'all because I consider y'all part of my circle. Y'all help uplift me because y'all could text me like, I can't do it. I'm hungry. You know, I hurt my big toe. You know, something silly. You know, y'all all working. My kids know y'all. Y'all are examples for my children. So if the good Lord should take me home, I don't feel like, oh, ain't no black man they can see that's positive. No, they have black brothers and brothers, period, who they can see and say, man, I know that's what my dad's circle was looking like. They work. They love the Lord. They family folks. They love their family. They good people, good men. So I want to tell y'all, I appreciate y'all for being part of my circle.
For sure.
So, and then I just want to just talk about that strength. During this COVID-19, there have been times where I'm like, I can't. I'm trying to push, but I'm tired. And to know that this brother was going through this and COVID-19, like throw that in the mix. And COVID-19. I don't know if y'all seen that movie with Spike Lee, The Five Bloods. And he also had another, and Kelly reminded me of that. Yes, it was like a cop movie. That was excellent.
21 Bridges.
21
Bridges, yes.
Yeah,
21 Bridges. Y'all check that out. Excellent movie. But for me, I've been moving, trying to do my thing. But there's been times where I'm like, man, I'm tired. I won't give up. Find me an egg roll and some Chinese food and a strawberry soda. Let me
Your
I
comfort
mean, I'm
food.
saying, but no. I need some combination fried rice with some extra egg. I'm tired. Y'all done took Kobe. There's 180
Yeah.
some folks gone. I got a
Yeah.
president that's gonna talk crazy. They
Right.
rioting. They on my neck.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's too much. I need, and I mean, I had Chinese food. That's our coming. Come on, Jermaine. Jason.
Well, to add to your comment about it being too much, as I was looking through some Chadwick stuff, I came across a headline that said Breonna Taylor's ex was offered a plea if he would admit that Taylor was a part of his crime organization. How you feel about that one?
Wow.
So and there's so much. And I'm trying to watch. Jermaine and I got to keep our jobs tomorrow. But
right.
This is what I want to say, Jason. You want to take the lead, but no, let me say, as a black man in this season, to see Kobe Bryant with his daughter gone in this season, Chadwick Boseman gone in this season, to see brothers who struggling, who trying to get their life together, snuffed out, shot in the back, knee on their neck, to see people sleeping in their house, people come in and they don't know what's going on, but they just trying to defend themselves, and a young girl who was doing good things with her life snuffed out. And you don't even want to watch the news because you don't want your kids to see all this, but you feeling it. And when you hear about Chadwick, it's like, I can't do it. And you keep preaching and you keep pushing, and you know those deals. You hear about them. If you are a part of the government or anything, you know what the deals can come down to. You do this, or we make your life hell. The person that recording those things, just like the guy in New York who recorded Brother getting choked, he went and got prison time. They will retaliate. This is a hard time for us. So when you see a brother who was dignified, because in some instances he's not our first black hero on TV, on the movie screen, it was Meteor Man. I love Robert Townsend, but Meteor Man ain't Black Panther.
Right.
That's too much coonery for me. Black Panther was a dignified, educated. Then you put Michael B. Jordan in there to give you that dynamic. It made you think. It made you feel good to see us look legitimate on the screen and not just like a fool. And so it hurt. It hurts so much. And you just I'm just trying to make it. I'm just trying to make it through to the next day.
Right.
And it's hurt. I mean, it's just so much hurt in this. So that's why I appreciate y'all. Not because y'all black. Because I know some sorry black folks. Do y'all know some sorry black folks? Not every black person in Wakanda.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna tag him in the post.
But when I'm saying, when you know sisters and brothers of character who are of excellence, matter they're white or black, and they feed into your life, it helps. I appreciate Pastor Randy from Lakewood. He came out to St. Philip, to South Dallas, for us to walk around. This white dude to walk around the school. We walked the entire, St. Philip big, like 3 blocks. He walked around the entire school and prayed and all that. There's a good folks out there. Right now what's being shined on is the evilness that's in America. And I feel like we as a people, Christian folks are now talking about, guys, step up. Chadwick gave us excellence when he should have said, I'm good. I got my own problems. And he stepped up. That's what I'm saying. I feel like a step up. Come on, man.
I think one of the things that I found out that I didn't know is that Denzel Washington invested in this brother a long time ago. And they were saying that there would be no Chadwick Boseman without, Denzel. And Denzel's like, all I paid was like a very, very small part, but it's that investment piece that, Denzel saw something in Chadwick that maybe nobody else saw and invested in him. And then Chadwick just took it to another level. It's like, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and so I think it's all about, investing in others, even when they don't see that in themselves, and saying, hey, I see something in you. I want to invest in you, whether it's I want to help you pay for school. I want to help you get this job, whatever the case may be. I think we have to be able to do that for each other, invest in each other.
Lisa Rashad was instrumental in connecting Chadwick and Denzel. Because he's at Howard. They got an Oxford program. They said we can't go because we don't have the money. She gets through her Rolodex and called Denzel. Denzel says yes. I say that to say Denzel part is when you have the money, make the investment. But that Felicity Rashad part, some of us got in our phone book people that we can call to help somebody go to a private school, to help somebody get a better education, somebody get your butt out of jail, get some, whatever it is, and we won't use our phone. You won't even pay for the person.
Right.
We need some Felicity Rashad and Denzel because I can't see how a Jacob Blake is going to make it without one of us saying, I'm going to walk with you, brother. And they may mess up.
Right.
But we got to walk with brothers and sisters before the other folks come in and try to destroy their work.
Right.
And after they do that, we got to help them pick up the pieces. And not just look on the side or comment on Facebook, do that easy stuff. Because no one else is going to do it.
Right.
So I'm telling you, I'm hurt. I know my wife has shed some tears. I know other brothers will go to the bathroom or shower. I hit me a couple of tears, just like, man, that was a lot. 43?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too soon.
43. I mean, John Thompson was 78. I'm sad he's gone, but he was 78. He was 43. I'm 40.
Right.
Man, you turning 40 this year?
Yeah, I'll be halfway to 80 this year.
Right? Jason 40? Aren't you 40?
On paper.
You that moisturizer. Jason did get carded at the store. So I'm like, are you 18?
I do.
He laughing.
I do. I just got carded this past weekend. Let me get a Sam Adams. Let me see your ID. Come on, you I've been working on this. You don't see this?
I feel good when they do it. It don't have options for me anymore. I'm like, thank you. You made my day.
It took me 38 years to get this connect. You see this right here? I've been working on this.
Sir, we think that's false.
Yeah, pretty much. Airbrushed on. Let me see your ID.
But it just, and I agree with Jason when he says, what's your legacy? That's why I kind of want to leave everybody, the things that we're trying to do as the church and things. Normal churches like, hey, just focus on worship. We make that good, yada, yada, yada. And I think that's great. I think that's their lane. I think we have a good worship, and I appreciate Mr. Yao leading us in our worship. But we got to reach out to people where they at. That's why I appreciate this platform. I appreciate Sister Circle and what they do. And we're going to do even more. But the greater thing is, when it's time for me to leave this earth, I want to make sure that a difference has been made because I was living, not for my glory, but for the glory of God. If a difference hasn't been made, then what am I doing?
Right.
And that's where I kind of come down to, is that we got to become difference makers. Because no matter what, there are millions of Black boys and girls that said Wakanda forever, and they say with pride. They said we can be excellent. We ain't got to always look like good times. Ain't no wrong for good times, but we ain't got to be good times all day. We can be somebody.
Right.
And so when you see somebody like Caleb or like my son who talked with me and now has watched Black Panther twice this weekend, I know that means something to them. I know they stay up to watch a tribute. I know they're hurting, and they've been through so much as all these kiddos during this COVID-19. But we're going to make it, and we're going to be stronger, and we're going to be greater because we're going to be victorious. That's just what it's going to be. So, let me get so preachy on y'all. You know, we like to laugh, but I just want to just hit y'all with that. I want to appreciate Jason, your brother from Detroit. Jason got his own testimony. Jermaine got his own testimony. These are brothers of excellence. And like I said, Jermaine is single, so we want to get him an excellent woman.
We go from legacy to Jermaine is single.
we don't know who out here. It might be nice. He got his own job. He's an assistant director. A German job. And, you know, and I oh, okay.
It's victorymatch.com here.
Slide up to Jesus. Slide up to Jesus.
Right.
Hey, here goes some other news. Disney is no longer allows theaters to show Black Panther.
Okay. I don't know what the Disney move on that is. Is that not to make money? I don't know. I don't know. I know some folks were upset that Black Panther wasn't on Netflix. And like, you know, it hadn't been on Netflix for months on Disney Plus. They want you to get that service. So I think Disney like, we need to make that money. So
that's probably what it is, because it definitely is still on Disney Plus.
Yes, it is. It's their highest rated single movie. Now, you know, versus the team. And then I've been asked, before we close out, can we discuss Monica? Now you're gonna give us 2 minutes discussing Monica and Brandy verse battle.
Oh my gosh!
It seems
I was having
making money.
Let's go, Monica.
I was having a conversation with my, one of my coworkers or whatever. Like, I didn't realize that, like, how many people are so hyped about this battle. I was like, okay.
When is the battle?
Right now.
It's right now.
Right now. Oh, that's what everybody's at.
It's right now. It started at 8:00 or 7:00 our time.
So we the lead into it. So I'm going for Monica. Monica all day.
Yeah.
Monica Jermaine?
Oh yeah, Monica. I mean, I think Monica is a better singer, and I think she has more hits than Brandy. So
that's right. That's right. And I think Monica, and see, now you want to hear 2 minutes. Monica's songs, if you break it down, and Kelly know I got conspiracy stuff on Monica. She got stuff in her songs that she talking about some wrong stuff when she was real young.
Oh yeah.
It's some stuff in there, I think. If she could tell her real truth, she like, I was going through this, I was going through that.
She don't write them. She ain't write them. She ain't write them.
Somebody wrote real stuff.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's how the game go, though. I mean, you know, most of these great singers don't write the lyrics,
right?
But for those songs in question, go look at the credits and you know, see how many names is under the writer section.
Now, let me ask: do we not like Brandy because of, you know, she did that reality show that was strange, where she tried to act like she was already married, but she wasn't, and she had a baby.
She's married in the spirit. Yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Now we well, I mean, I like Brandy. I mean, and that's the wife's favorite person in this battle.
Okay.
I mean, Brandy's dope. I mean, but I'm a Monica fan. I grew up on.
Okay. Yeah. So I feel like we like Ray J better than Brandy.
Whoa! Wait a minute.
Hey, that's disrespectful.
No, yo, come on.
That's disrespectful.
Ray J has entertained y'all. Ray J, the Breakfast Club wouldn't be around if it wasn't for Ray J.
That's disrespectful.
Ray J. I'm telling you, Ray J will entertain you. He has entertained me. He a real fool.
He is real. he is real hood entertainment.
He is. It really is.
He is.
So I mean, I see. You know, Brand. I'm just saying. I would like to see a Brandy versus Ray J versus.
Brandy versus Ray.
I got more hits than Ray J.
One wish. One wish. Okay,
One wish.
One wish. then Ray J got the one with Little Kim.
What?
It's got some song like it was something. I don't want to talk about Little Kim. That. See, there you go. But he got one song. I guess he only got 2 hits, huh?
He got more than that, man. You just gotta go look him up, and then you'll be like, "Oh, okay, that one."
Okay.
No, he may have wrote for some folks, but as far as like hits himself,
how many songs Brandy have? Brandy hits.
She got a lot.
Yeah.
But when we say a lot,
like I Want to Be Down.
Okay.
She got a lot.
Album.
Yeah.
Monica got a lot of hits too.
Yeah.
And she got grown hits. Like not just when she was a teenager, when she got grown.
Right.
No, Brandy though grown with her hits. Uh-oh. Ain't got you. Okay. I'm saying Brandy had, and Brandy Young has a lot of hits. I'm not saying it don't. She on Waiting Excel soundtrack, Waiting in My Room. She all. I'm saying when Brandy get grown, I don't know what hits like that. Monica still got some hits for you. Uh-oh. Bill, bro, Ray J close to your wife.
Right.
Bro, I don't feel Ray J for nothing. I don't feel Ray J.
Yeah, I was holding his arm like this.
Okay. Let him know you're a big dude. Ray J crazy though. Ray J got a lot of story. I'm telling you, I'm entertained by Ray J.
Right. Yeah, now if we were just going off of like stories and stuff, oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that fight with him and Fabulous.
Yes. To hear the whole story is hilarious.
Very.
I know we already over time, but I'm saying that whole story,
right.
which makes the Breakfast Club, is straight like on both sides of them telling the story. Ain't throw in P. Diddy.
Right.
P. Diddy's in the story. Jadakiss is in the story.
Right.
All these folks is in the story. 50 Cent somehow is in the story.
Right.
All these jokes. But I'm just saying, I take Monica over Brandy. And for me, I think I didn't like when they were lying about the whole marriage thing. Like, just keep it real. We good for hood stuff. We all right.
Right.
Monica kind of been through. She Atlanta. You know, she's seen some things, went through some things.
But I mean, I think she was more like cookie cutter. Like when she first came out, because I know that she like initially like tried to hide the tattoo that was on her arm or whatever, and then after that it was like, okay, I got all this.
Whoa, Monica.
Monica, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the boy is mine. I wanted Monica to say, yeah, he's mine. That's 1998. That's 1998. Yes, Monica, I'm yours. Man, I show my bias. Y'all gonna lay out like y'all see, that's wrong, Jason. You can say you like Monica back in the day. You ain't gonna get in trouble.
I said I like Monica.
Not like as a singer now. Now we're saying, shit, I want when the boy is mine. I was always like, yeah, sing, girl, to me. Sing to me, girl. I'm yours.
See, my favorite song was the which still to this day of hers is the Why I Love You So Much. That is my favorite Monica song. 1995 on the Miss Thang album.
Miss Thang, we're gonna bring the receipts.
There we go.
Mine was the one where she's talking about the friend, which I think is a deeper song than that. I'm not gonna get all into that here, but it was the friend, and like
Pastor in these B-side cuts.
Right. That's the right there song ain't nobody ever heard of, and then now.
Kelly know the song I'm talking about. Her now. This is a song I don't know word for word. It's one of the few songs. But I don't know the title today.
That's that other song on the other side of the tape after the instrumental play.
Oh, look at that. See?
right before the outro.
You know, some of those best songs. Don't sleep on that. Don't sleep on that. I think Mitchell said she's gonna sing her that. I want my wife to sing me something tonight.
I mean, you know, could always do a tribute to AJ. I mean, you know, she could sing the Wayne Head song.
So, y'all, we overtime, and I'm glad we got an AJ reference in today. That's what we're missing. We need that, you know, like what?
Right.
We need that off the cuff commentary.
Hey, look, for my man's Mavericks all the way, baby.
Hey,
all the way to the house.
All the way.
Hey, if you can only see our text thread of the hate before. Thank you. Before you walk out my life, that's a song I like by Monica. That's a song. I like that song.
That's a sad song.
It is, but she looked real cute in the video when I was young. I was like, oh, that girl look cute.
So you don't know none of the lyrics, and you just be watching the video.
I know the lyrics. You start doing it, I could like, before you walk.
And that's how Ray J sounds.
Look, give me some Ray J money. But I don't know all the things that Ray J had to do to get that money. That's a whole different story.
Right.
That's a whole different story. But he's launched many careers. So we're not talking about that. So I'm not going to even mention that this week. See how they try to do you? They try to tell you. Not going to go that side. I'm not going to do it. I'm not. Yeah. So on that note, we're 2 weeks out from football starting. So y'all get ready for that. We'll have some more NBA playoff talk with y'all next week. Y'all check on one another, pray for one another. If you need to make a doctor's appointment, don't be afraid of the doctor. Check out the doctor. Go to the doctor. Heed the advice. Let's eat better. Let's do better. I appreciate y'all. See y'all next week at 7 o'clock. Brothers on the Block. Please tune in this Wednesday, 7 o'clock to Sister Circle. They're going to hit y'all with some more great knowledge. May God bless y'all and keep y'all. Once again, brothers, appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.